My name is Remmy Majala, and thank you so much for joining us today. And we are speaking about the politics of deceit. We've changed our tune, of course, in a different way today. We're handling politics because of the, the national matters or occurrences that are happening right now. So we want to take or retain our focus on that particular aspect. And we already have a question of the day for you. We are asking you, do you believe Gachagwa's claims that the president is responsible for his downfall, or is there more to the story? Do you believe Gachagwa's claims that the president is responsible for his downfall, or is there more to the story? Remember, you can send us your feedback on our social media handles. That is at K24 TV on both handles. That is Facebook and X, and our WhatsApp line is right there on your screens. Like I mentioned, today we're speaking about the politics of deceit. And our guests in studio are Vincent Akech, Youth for Kenya National Chairman. Thank you so much for coming in, Vincent.
Right.
And we also have with us Chege Majus, Secretary, Social Affairs, Party of National Unity, that is PNU. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. So, gentlemen, there's a lot that has happened since Mashujaa Day, and of course, previously also on Saturday, we had the Deputy President, impeached Deputy President, rather, released from hospital, and he addressed the media. And one of the things that he mentioned is that, his biggest problem was being truthful. And he also said that his life is in danger. And we know that the DCI has summoned him to give a statement today, at their headquarters. So what's your perspective on this thing? I'll begin with you, Vincent.
Well, good morning. My name is Vincent Akech. The subject of today is quite critical, both to the leaders and even the people of this country, in particularly the young people. What we're seeing happening today in the country is quite vital, and we must make it deliberate of the future we want to have as a country. You've had, most people have complained, whereby you can see this is not the first time, where two people marry each other 1 year down the marriage or even 2 years down the marriage, things just don't work out. And they choose to go different ways. Some choose to bring more wives into the picture, while the wife who was there starts to feel uncomfortable. But I want us to look at it more than that. I want us to look at what kind of leadership do we want moving forward as a people. Do we want to continue living in a way that we start off well, but 1 year down the line, we start falling? We start having discussions around individuals. We start having discussions around the MOUs, what we agreed. My belief is post-election should be working to the people. We should not be going back to the to the things of this guy wants to bring me down, this other one wants to, that should not be what we should be focusing on as a country. Right now it should be a matter of how do we get schools running well, how do we get our people well fed, how do we get the nation running according to the plan we had for the people. What we are seeing today is quite unfortunate, and it's very unfortunate in very many ways. One of the ways is that the people are left wondering, is this the change of a life we expected as a people, or is this just the normal norm that we've had in the past? When you look at what is happening, we've had this for quite many years, from the 1990s to the 2000s, where one person in the government betrayed the other person out of the government. This has been here for quite a very long time. We as a people, we as a young people, must make it intentional that we have discussions based on a future that we want all of us to, to live in as a people.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Chege, according to what Vincent has said, it's true that we have very many pertinent issues. We have the shine shift aspect, healthcare. We have, the financial bit, which we heard earlier in the year that led to a whole protest. We have the Adani perspective. There's so much happening in our country that we should primarily, or have our legislators, talk more about or focus on. But right now that we are here, and the deputy president has spoken of betrayal, and the impeached deputy president, for that matter, and the president, you know, not being fair or vicious towards him. What do you think of those sentiments?
Thank you to the viewers. I'm Chega Majus, as you said, Secretary Party of National Unity, and an incoming senator of Nakuru County. I want to say this. Number one, this is not new. We saw it come. When these people came into power, we said clear, there is no honor among us. In fact, these people, they are not fighting because of ideologies. You will not hear anywhere President Ruto is saying that I wanted us to have the universal health, but Gachagua wanted us first to concentrate with agriculture. That's not what they are fighting for. Nobody knows what they are fighting for, but I can tell you, it is the formula of sharing the loot. Because the things you have mentioned a dialogue. You go to the Daily Nation today, it's a secret deal worth billions of money.
Right, Chege, just hold on as we are able to, we have a technical you know, issue with your microphone, but as that is being solved, yes, he said they're not fighting for anything that is per se, you know, something we can put our finger on. But what the impeached DP said is that they did not have an MOU as compared to the other leaders like Wetangula, you know, Amason Kingi and the rest. It was more of a code, you know, trust, and them being Christians also, that brought this particular, you know, bromance of sorts, you know. So what do you think of that perspective? Well,
thank you for that great question. The MOU that we are talking about is an MOU on a one-on-one basis. One person towards towards the other person. But I would want us to focus on the MOU between the government and 57 million of Kenyan people. These people feel betrayed. These people feel neglected. These are people who don't have a clear direction. They actually don't have hope what the next meal will be. These are people who've turned to be beggars on the streets. When we see on the streets, we have more street children today than before. These are people who have waited for the leaders to come help them, and these are people who have now chosen to help themselves.
Right. So hold on to that again. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but you can finish on to your point. Because of the mic situation now, it's okay.
Is it okay now?
It is fine. Yeah, I'll let him have his point also. We'll come back.
Thank you so much. As I was saying, it's not something new that is unfolding. As I was saying, is that there is no honor among thieves. And you have said this for the 2 consecutive years. And I have told you, the two guys are not fighting because of ideologies of how to take this country forward. Ruto is not coming and saying that we need a universal healthcare. Then Gachagua is saying, no, we need to make our agriculture sector a formidable force as a backbone of this nation. No, it is the formula of sharing the loot. If you look at the Daily Nation, every day we have secret deals. We have, like today, we have the Adani, and we are talking about billions, 487 billion secret deals in a sovereign nation. The sovereign nation where power belongs to the people. The people need to know what is happening in their country. We have secret deals in chief. And all these secret deals, it is taxpayers' money. The burden is on the taxpayers' money. Are we together? And if you saw the charges in Parliament, in Senate, I can tell you, anyone who saw those charges, they don't equate to an impeachment of a deputy president. Because there are things that our Kenyans are not being told. We are hearing Senate, people saying they pocketed 10 million. Parliament, people pocketed hundreds of thousands just to impeach the deputy president. So it's not about the service delivery. Because if it's about the service delivery, the president should come out now and say, we had an issue with my deputy because of this and this. We are following this direction, but my deputy was taking this direction. It is about looting that has gone wrong. Maybe Gachagua want, in this routing, I want 50-50. If we are taking 10 billion, I want 5. And Ruto should take 5. Are you together? That's why Ruto wants a yes-sir person to work with. In fact, it will be good for him to work without a deputy president.
In your opinion, is this nominee Kindiki?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Not even Kindiki. Any other person who can just say yes to Ruto and who feel like I was not voted by the people. Because when you feel like 7 million people did not come out to vote me, you will be a yes person. Because it's like a favor that has been done to you. This was a joint ticket of 2 people, Ruto and Gachagua. All of them feel obliged because they feel like 7 million people woke up early to vote them in. Then comes a person here who never worked for those 7 million votes, who never invested those 7 million votes. Why would not like that person feel like he's privileged to be there? Like it's a favor being given to them. That's why I'm saying this. The country is heading in the wrong direction. And I want to tell Kenyans, there is this German Lutheran pastor called Martin Imola. During the rise of the Nazi and the Hitler to become a dictator, he gave a poem how the Nazis used to come for one profession after the other. One profession after the other. Last year we had a lot of killings in Kisumu, Yalena. But I heard people saying from our region that, it doesn't happen to us. That is happening to demonstrators. It is not us. This year, we had Gen Z, youths like me, who are killed for just calling the national flag. Others said, I'm not a Gen Z, so I'm safe. Are we together? We had the university students. Right now, I was a student leader in university. And I know most of the students in university who usually qualify for university, they come from very poor background. They cannot afford hundreds of thousands. But you see, because me, I went to university and I'm through, I'll say, no, it's not me. They can deal with Ruto. Each profession at a time. We had the lecturers. Now we have the doctors. Now we have the judiciary. We had one of the High Court Justice Mogambi, when he gave an orders of habeas corpus that bring the 3 guys dead or alive when they were not being found, the Bob Mjages, the activists. Are we together? His security was withdrawn. For the first time, you have a High Court judge, security withdrawn. We have right now the judges under pressure to make sure by end of today, I'm telling you, they have sworn Kindiki as the deputy president against the law. All the law, all the articles of this country. Number one, one article says that you must be a member of a political party 3 months prior. You should not be a civil servant some months prior. Are we together? But regardless, he will be sworn because we have a case of a dictator rising. And judiciary is our last line of resort. If they crash judiciary, I can tell you, and we are here in media, the next people to be crushed will be the media. Because that's how it goes. You crush the judiciary, then you go for the media. Right. And that's what I'm telling Kenyans. The only people, the only youths will tell not to vote this regime back are foreigners. We'll go to Masai Mara to look for the Wazungus. Don't vote people because they don't know him. But any person who will be above 18 years and will vote in 2027 will not even tell them not to vote this regime or that one. No. Right. They will exercise their brains that God has given them.
I see.
Thank you.
Now, you've said 57 million Kenyans feel betrayed because of what is happening currently in our country and in the leadership, right? So we have the ideal, which we know is what we're supposed to say. But now we have the reality of the matter. And now we have to look forward because we have a nominee who is, the new, DP, right? Designate, if we may say, right? Now, we need to look at the perspective of how will our nation forge forward. We have our constitution, we have the laws and the like, and you said there are things to focus on. But you see, we have people in power who are the ones to bear, the torch ahead or fix laws and the like. So in your opinion, what should happen here in between? Because we're waiting, there's a court hearing today, we're waiting on that, and for the next few days. What's your perspective? Well,
57 million people in Kenya still wait for help from this government. Amongst the 57 million, 47 millions are adults who were given the word of the head of state that once I put this Bible down, there are certain things that were to take effect. The first thing was I'll not let my DP suffer the same way I suffered. I'm just saying his word for word. What we are seeing today is a scheme, is a plan to take us to the past. We are seeing people who've deliberately put aside the needs of...
What does this past look like?
The past looked like where we are today. But we must define a future that is not like today. We must define a future whereby the head of state and the DP are not only coming together to secure the vote, but they're also coming together with ideologies which they believe that they are going to implement when they come to power. What we've seen with this government is when they put the Bible down, they took the whole knife up. And that's when we've seen 70 people, young people, dying on the streets because of what they believed was right. When they put that Bible down is when things changed. I wish that Bible remained up, because when it came down with a plan. The Bible has to be put up at every time, because it has been put down and even the church is crying. I saw men and women of the church yesterday on Sunday crying in the media. The person they believed who would have changed this country, they stopped believing in God. They believed in the person, and the person, we all know how the person we voted for is behaving. And this is quite unfortunate. But I want to hope that with everything that is happening, the changes, wherever they want to change the DP, bring another one, even they change this one, and bring another one, and even change that other one, and bring another one. The change that the people want in the country, Kenya, is the change that impacts education, is the change that impacts the health of the people. The health sector is in a mess, is in turmoil today. No one understands. In fact, no one has made it their own intention to even explain to the people. This is a system that we only changed the name. We didn't change the whole system. Our system has to be uprooted from in between, rather from in within. And we change the people. We are having a forest with the same trees, same monkeys, just that they've shifted the trees they were hanging on the other day. These are the same individuals doing the same thing who went around the country with the word of God and promising that God would change this country. The mistake the people of this country did is we trusted in men and not in God. I plead with the people of this country that men are not sufficient enough. We've seen what happens in the next election.
So in your perspective, the role of the church, how should the role of the church look like? Because the clerics are now, of course, questioning their whole belief from what they've seen or how the government is turning out to be. So what should the role of the church be at the end of the day when you're saying people should believe in God more and not a person?
Well, I would say I'm not the best to speak on behalf of the church. But looking at what the church made us go through in the 2022 elections, that was quite sad. That was quite unfortunate. They are crying right now. We are crying like everyone. The role of the church must be the role of the church. The role of the church is the spiritual nourishment of the people, not political engagement. We've had a church that, to some extent, has forgotten their first role of spiritual nourishment, and now they want to dictate who even gets to politics. Politics as we know it is cruel. It's full of deceit. It's full of lies. And
I do understand that, but if you look at different civilizations, this would not be the first.
Exactly.
The church has had its role, including England, Church of England, always, connected to the monarchy and the like. But in this particular scenario, just going back to our conversation, the impeached DP has spoken and said that he believes the whole alliance that he had with the president was all for him to win the election. Yeah. And that this whole organization was that he was to mobilize Mount Kenya, which is what the DP got, and then he got that cluster or region of people. And he's also spoken about the assassination attempts on his life, which, like I mentioned earlier, the DCI has summoned him to go and have that, conversation, or like basically explain himself rather, that process. So what's your perspective on that?
Number one, Gachagua is a very good student of Ruto. The same way Ruto was a very good student of Moi. Now Gachagua is playing the games that Ruto played exactly to the letter. And in fact, for just 2 weeks, he has been able to mobilize the whole of the community Mount Kenya region behind him. People who are not supporting Gachagua.
For the past 2 weeks?
For the past 2 weeks. For the past 2 weeks only. For the past 2 years, people who don't care about this regime. But right now, if you go to the mountain and talk anything about Gachagua, these people will burn you alive. He has been able to mobilize them because our people, I come from Mount Kenya region, we are very emotional. In fact, when it comes to betrayal, one of the reasons why Ruto was able to mobilize those people behind him, he used to go and tell them how Uhuru has betrayed him, despite standing with him for the last 10 years. But he has betrayed him. But he used to say, he yote nimeachia Mungu. The same clip that Gachagua is playing. So he's just playing, he wants even to play it better than the way Ruto played it. What I want to say is true, what you have said. Ruto used Gachagua financially, because Gachagua has some financial muscles. Then Kindiki didn't have financial muscles to be able to mount a campaign.
Nominee DP Kindiki has always been the option for you.
Has always been the option for Ruto, but then he didn't have the financial muscles to fight for the campaign last time. So they went. In fact, if you listen to this point, they come here, they tell you when they were voting between Kindiki and Gachagua, 23 voted for Kindiki to deputize Ruto, while 3 voted for Gachagua. But Ruto himself went ahead to pick Gachagua because of the financial muscles and the courage, because there are things he wanted his deputy to talk in Mount Kenya region that could not have been said by any other person except Gachagua. Those viral videos you see, the abuses, the chest dumping, the only person who could have done that was Rigathi Gachagua.
And I want to get your opinion, just hold on to that. Vincent, the impeached DP warned Kindiki about his predicament would look like him. His fate would be exactly the same. So from where you sit, do you think that Kindiki has a chance of not facing the same fate as Gachagua here?
Well, having known Professor Kindiki from back then, I knew the gentleman, very soft-spoken, in 2012, back in campus. He taught me linguistics. And this is a man, it's only a foolish man who never learns from the mistake of the other people. The way I know Professor Kindiki Kithure is that he is a master planner. He has his cards closer to his chest. He knows where not to trade. You saw the last day of announcing the results of the national elections at the Bomas of Kenya. He was the only gentleman who was allowed to talk. He was speaking with his guys that, guys, you must calm down. You must calm down. So if there's a gentleman who I know who can calm the head of state down, though at times he fails me a lot, but if I know, if there's a man who I know can tame the head of state from the injustices that we are seeing in our society, is that professor. If there's a man who lectured me back in the university, who I know will not have gone away with a seat when his brother was in the hospital, is this Professor Kithure. He's the only one who I know will not have betrayed his brother. But what I saw in the last week, I'm sure it's not even the court which has stopped his swearing in. I know him himself, he's not convinced whether he should go for that seat or not. I can tell you.
All right.
The gentleman is a calm man. He is a good man. But what is happening in the country today, I feel like the man has changed.
Hold on to that thought.
Yeah.
I need you to keep that in your mind. You'll come back with your perspective on the same.
Okay.
We're taking a short break. We'll be back with more of this conversation. Do stay with us.
is the biggest reggae and rhythm show ever on Kenyan television.
You have a ganja man and you wanna forget. Tell them nothing about
Juggle with the reggae boy.